So this campaign, where is it particularly focused? Is it going to be focused, or is it already being focused on young people, or does it cut across both young and old? Because I find that sometimes a group of people know about something, but another group don't. So does it cut across?
It does cut across, but I think one of the myths that we really come across is that, you know, older people think that this is something for the young ones. This is something that's beyond my time, you know? And the reality is, you know, I think our lifestyle, modern life is different, you know. They say 50 is the new 30, and you know, and we are connecting with each other in different ways, and that has to, I think the way we approach our sexual health, younger people are usually very switched on, you know, very, you know, wanting to learn about, by and large, although, you know, there are exceptions. But in terms of even openness to talk about these kind of subjects, it's really actually older individuals. We want to really try and say this is something not just for the young generation. It's something that, you know, you could really benefit from as well, and it's important to know and share it with all your networks.
I know we mentioned the effectiveness. I think we mentioned the side effects as well. But what are the actual benefits of taking it? What does PrEP actually do for your body?
The power of PrEP is that you can be in control of it. Like, it's like the pill. You don't need to tell anyone that you're on it. You can take it privately, but you know that you are protected. You have ownership and control. And I think that that is a really key part of our sexual health and enjoying sex and feeling empowered through sex. So I would say that that is one of the, you know, the biggest benefits of PrEP. But within that, obviously, the reason that you're taking PrEP is that you want to stop yourself from getting the virus. And what's really important here is that PrEP stops you getting HIV. It doesn't stop you getting other sexually transmitted infections. So I just want to make that clear. So it doesn't stop you getting chlamydia, gonorrhea, and, you know, syphilis. For that, you would need to use condoms. But PrEP, the way that it works is that the tablet is actually a tablet that you would take if you were HIV positive. Okay. So it acts on the cells in your body, and it will stop the virus getting into the cells of your body. So it's beneficial for your body. It stops you getting the virus, but it also gives you control when you're having sex for you to enjoy it as well.
Because I'm sure, again, people might be thinking this, but probably not wanting to ask, is it only when you've had, should I say, penetrative intercourse that you need to take it? Or is it also applicable with, you know, fellatio, to be polite?
That's a great question. And you know what? That's what we're here for. We're here to answer all the questions everyone's thinking and no one wants to voice out.
Pretty much.
They're vaginal or frontal or anal sex.
Okay.
So that's where we have the bulk of the evidence. But what we do know is, you know, just from, you know, other forms of transmission, such as, you know, vertical transmission, which is like mother to child, we know that the treatment is effective at prevention, you know, across kind of most of the ways that people may be exposed to the virus. Fantastic. And we know with like fellatio that it's a lower concentration of the virus, but that it's, you know, it's still a potential risk. So basically any type of sex that anyone is having that they feel like there may be a risk, then just, it is definitely an option. For sure.
It's a really good point as well. I'm so glad you raised it in terms of for people to be also not to be shy about talking about it in the sexual health clinic, just to say, you know, what's the type of sex that you enjoy. And some people do not want to have regular penetrative sex and they want to just have oral sex. Some people will always have vaginal sex. Some people will always or want to explore with anal sex as well. You know, it all works, just whatever you enjoy. But what's important is that you're able to talk about it so that you'll get the best advice for you as well.
And who can take it? Can anyone take it? Can pregnant women, for example, take PrEP?
someone living with HIV, and they will take treatment throughout their pregnancy, and that will stop them passing the virus on to the baby. So, and the reason I say that is so people know that pregnant women can take this therapy and it's safe for them to take it.
Okay.
And we do offer that if someone is pregnant, that we would talk to them to see if it were appropriate for them to be on PrEP. So it is possible, but we would have a conversation about the risk and to see whether it was appropriate to use.
I think one of the things as well we want people to do is we want them to really like think about themselves, their situation, you know.
Okay.
So like I'll give the example, you know, like let's say you know, maybe young men or something, people who may be more likely to have more casual partners. I'm not just saying it's only young men or that all young men, you know, anyone of any ages, you know, let me not say something that isn't true. But you know, people may be having casual partnerships, so they may have one main partner and then, you know, another incident here or there. And what we know is that sometimes, you know, people may not use condoms all the time when they're having, you know, different partners at the same time or very close together. And, you know, we're saying like, if this is your situation, then PrEP is an option, you know, for that.
What about medical conditions, like people with certain medical conditions? Are there any exemptions regarding that?
Yeah, that's another good question. What I would say, and I'm being really honest, is just being cautious about giving any specific conditions that we would say you can't use it. So it would be that you would go to the sexual health clinic and talk through whatever condition you had, and then a decision would be made. So
Okay.
yeah, so rather than kind of saying a blanket thing, so I would say that anyone should consider themselves eligible to take it. So go to the sexual health clinic, talk through. So like I've just said, talk through the type of sex that you're having, talk through your medical history, and then the decision will be made with you about whether it's the best thing for you.
As we start to round up, is there anything else that you would like to add that we perhaps may not have covered?
We know that someone that is living with HIV, and if they are on treatment and they are taking that treatment and their viral load is what we call undetectable, then they cannot pass the virus on when they have sex with someone. And we call that U equals U, and that is undetectable is untransmittable. And that's a really powerful message to know. For me, if I was speaking to someone that was having sex with someone that is living with HIV and is undetectable, the only thing I would say, they do not need to take PrEP. But if there were any concern that they did not know for sure if their partner was taking their treatment or undetectable, or any other concerns, then at that point I would say, right, well, this is something that you have to know that you are protecting yourself.
So one of the things that has come up in conversations with people is a bit of a worry or a skepticism that this is a pill, a drug, you know, and we don't necessarily like medication generally. And especially when we know what else is happening, you know, in the world, people are a bit hesitant with this kind of approach. And so they're like, well, or does it work? Or, oh, why is this something that, you know, you're promoting in a way? And, you know, one, we're not promoting it. We are just giving that information so people can make their own choice. But the other fact is that, you know, PrEP is something that was developed. We know that it's very safe, it's very effective, and there are very few side effects that are only short lasting, as Vanessa said. So there's little to be worried about. And so just want to really encourage, again, anyone who wants to learn more, go and do the research, find out for yourself, because the reality is that, you know, while we know, I think I personally, and just generally, I always think that, you know, condoms, if it works, condoms are amazing. You know, they're accessible. They work for pregnancy prevention, for STIs, for HIV. But the truth is, not everyone uses them, even if they are that effective. And PrEP is definitely better than not using anything at all, 100%.
Where can people find more information if they need it?
Startswithme.org.uk is a really good starting place. It has a lot of helpful tips and more information, links to all of the information around effectiveness and side effects. And there's also a website called I Want PrEP Now, which has a lot of other information about the different ways it can be accessed. There's another website called PrEPster, which has even more resources. So there's everything. The internet's amazing these days. So I just encourage you, just go and check it out.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you both so much, Sham and Vanessa. We really appreciate you taking the time to really, answer our questions at length and really go into much needed detail about this topic.